Topic 9, Lesson 8, Tenths and Hundredths. Today you will represent decimals, tenths, and hundredths as fractions. Students, you also represent fractions with denominators of 10 and 100 as decimals. A decimal is another name for a fraction. Okay, take a look at the top of page 238. Tenths and hundredths. How can you write a fraction as a decimal? Okay, so here are a couple examples. A fraction such as 3/10 or 9/100 can be shown by a model. So we've used these fraction squares before. And this one, as you can see, does not have the second set of grid lines, but each long, or 10, okay, represents a tenth. So you can see here in green that there are 3 out of 10, 3/10. Okay, and over here, it's almost 1/10, very close to 1/10, but it's just 9/100. Okay, so that can be written in two different ways. If you look at the top of page 239, they have written it in decimal form for you. Okay, so 3/10, just hearing that makes me think of a decimal and a fraction, because they can be written either way. So here's the example down below of how it's written. 3/10 is equal to 3/10, just written in two different ways. Okay, same with 9/100. 9 over 100, or 9/100, equals 9/100. Okay. Now take a look at other examples on 238, because not every fraction has 10 in the denominator, or 100. Sometimes it has 5. Sometimes it has 4. I mean, obviously, it's unlimited. But we know that 3 divided by 5 is, 3/5 is 3 divided by 5. Same with 1/4 is 1 divided by 4. So the numerator divided by the denominator. Okay, and we know how to do that by or putting it in the house. Okay, and if the 3 is the dividend and it's smaller than the divisor 5, we just add a decimal and a 0. Okay, and then we can easily divide it. Just bring the decimals straight up, okay, in both of them, and then you just divide, and you keep adding zeros until you run out. So here they had to add 2 zeros. Okay, obviously these we don't have to add because 6 goes into 30 evenly. All right, so then now I see they got 6/10. Well, that's equivalent. Okay, so if I wrote it this way, 6/10. Okay, that's equivalent to 3/5. Okay, this one they got 25/100, and that can be written like that. Okay, which is equivalent to 1/4 if you were to divide by 25/25. Okay, so that's how we write a fraction as a decimal when the denominator is not 10 or 100. Okay, so 238 on the bottom, guided practice. Let's give that a try. Get your pencils and notebooks ready. It says to write each decimal as a fraction and each fraction as a decimal. All right, so number 1, it's pretty basic. The 1 is in the tenths place, so to write it as a fraction, as simple as that. 1 over 10, 1/10. Okay, number 2, 2 is in the hundredths place, so 2/100. All right, I think you'll probably get the idea here. I'm going to skip down to number 5 because it says to use division to change 11/20 to a decimal. Okay, so obviously 20 is not a place value. We've got tenths, hundredths, or thousandths. So we're going to have to use division like it says. Okay, the numerator is the dividend. 20 is the divisor. Okay, 20 does not go into 11, so we need to add our decimal. Go straight up. Oop. Trying to draw an arrow there. All right, does not go in there, so we can put our 0, or we can say 20 into 110. Well, I know 20 times 5 is 100. Subtract that. Okay, I'm going to have to add another 0 because 20 does not go into 10. to bring down. 20 goes in 100, as we know, 5 times. All right, I can finish that out and to prove it. Okay, so I see 55 hundredths is our is a decimal, so just over half, which makes sense. Also, guys, because 11 twentieths, well, 10 twentieths would be half. Okay, this is just over half, right? Or I could write it like this. Either way. Okay, so 55 hundredths is equivalent to 11 twentieths. Okay, and can be written, put an equal sign there, either way. All right, so be listening for what problems you need to complete. Do finish 1 through 7, so we've got a few left. And best of luck. Do your best.